I remember as I was younger in board commission meetings, I would try to look half ahead or something, and now I don't even care. And we're on Zoom meeting, I don't care. I just want to get all what you need.
Good evening, everyone.
You know what I'm
Glad to see you out on this beautiful day. All right, we are all going to stand and we are going to get our invocation from Pastor Terry Hall, and we're going to follow that with our Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, tonight as we come to this meeting, we find ourselves extremely thankful that we have come through a season that was improbable, a season that caused many questions to be asked and very few answers to be available. We thank you that we've come through that season and that we're entering into a new season. Yet this new season seems to be as much trouble before us as the season we just left. We see ourselves having to address issues in our community and around our country and around the world that affect us right here at home. Yes. So today we look for wisdom that is beyond our learning, beyond our experience, beyond our mentors' leadership. We need a blessing from on high. And so we speak your blessing over these leaders of our community and over those who transact business before them. And we say, as the priests of old said, the Lord bless thee, the Lord keep thee, the Lord make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and may the Lord give you his peace as you move forward with the confidence and the knowledge that God has not forsaken us, but goes with us as we move into the future and find his grace as we make the decisions necessary in this place this night. May your blessing be upon each of the commissioners. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Hull, I thank you so much for that invocation. And it's nice to have you back out in our audience again. All right, we are ready for our roll call.
Mayor James.
Here.
Vice Mayor Jones.
here.
Commissioner Ambrose.
Here.
Commissioner Jameson.
Here.
And Commissioner Williams.
Okay, at this time, we're going to take a look at our agenda. But before I entertain a motion, we need to make a change. We are going to go to unfinished business, and we're going to move that up above item number 3 under presentations. That's ordinance 2011. Move that up. It's going to be after item number 2, before item number 3. Now I'll entertain a motion.
I have it in under number 3.
That's where we no, it goes between 2 and 3, according to what I have.
Okay. I move that we approve the agenda with the addition for ordinance 2020-11.
Second.
It's not actually an addition, though, it's a movement, right? Yeah,
An amendment, I beg your
Yeah.
pardon. I move that we approve the agenda with the amendment for unfinished business ordinance 2020-11.
Second.
All right. It has been properly moved and second that the agenda as amended be approved. All those in favor respond with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. All right, approval of minutes.
I move that we approve minutes of May 13th, 2021.
I'll second.
All right, it has been properly moved and second that the minutes from May 13, 2021 commission meeting be approved. All those in favor respond with aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Right, motion carries 4-0. Presentation discussion items. Recognitions, item number 1. And it is my pleasure
Oh, yes.
I need some company.
Okay.
Yeah, I need some company. Commissioner Ambrose has been out doing a very, very good job on behalf of the city of High Springs. As such, the Florida League of Cities recently recognized High Springs Commissioner Ross Ambrose with the 2021 Home Rule Hero Award for his hard work and advocacy efforts during the 2021 legislative session. Commissioner Ambrose worked tirelessly to promote local voice, making local choices to protect the home rule power of Florida municipalities. And one of the major things that they mentioned in the write-up that they gave us on behalf of Commissioner Ross was his thoughts that most people think, I think it is important that citizens retain local control versus having Tallahassee design one-size-fits-all solution. And I agree with it. Local representatives need to use our elected voices to speak up when issues impact our ability to govern our challenges. And if you'd like to know more about the League of Cities and how it all works, please go out and visit Florida with LFL, FloridaCities.com. And you can learn anything that you want to know about the League of Cities. And with that, Mr. Ambrose, I thank you, the city of High Springs, thank you, and all of our citizens here, thank you. So congratulations. Okay, thank you.
Let's go, Antoine.
All right. We owe our chief of police a big, big, big congratulations. All right. Police Chief Antoine Shepard has graduated from Leo University. After many years of hard work, he has achieved a master's degree in criminal justice. It took him a while going back and forth up and down that road, but I know he now feels that it's all worth it. And we know that it's all worth it, and we know that it's just gonna make you a better police chief if that's possible. We thank you for everything. Yes, we thank you. You are so welcome. Thank you. All right. And we can back up these steps.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay. Consider, discuss, and act on ordinance 2020-11.
Madam Mayor and Commissioners, this item is the item for the rezoning of Bailey Estates. And the developer has requested a continuance once again, this time till the first meeting in July. The reason is that we are still working on the development agreement. I just received it back yesterday. So there can be one last round of comments. And I think that he is, a representative from CHW is supposed to be on the Zoom meeting if you have any questions for them.
Madam Mayor, I would support the idea of continuing this to a date certain in the future. I had a day that I hadn't had a chance to look at this. I know it was sent to us early in the morning and forwarded around, and I haven't had a chance to look. I've spent probably 15 minutes looking at the changes. There's significant edits to the document that was sent to Craig, and he's made significant edits. The continuance would allow us to go back and forth and try to come to some resolution. The difference between the current zoning and the zoning that the applicant is seeking is from R1 to R3. And without a development agreement, the R3 designation, as has been discussed in the past, I think there's some reticence or hesitancy because it's 4,000 square foot lots, and that would be a very intense development. And I certainly don't want to speak for Craig, and he can make his presentation on his side and what they would like to do. But if we're going straight up on zoning, we would have a situation that would be questionable in compatibility as to the surrounding property owners and surrounding properties. And I, by the way, I don't think that's what the intent of the applicant is. I think they're trying to work with us as much as they possibly can with the development. So that's in the nature of where we're at. This has been extended. It's been one of those situations that's been it's been extended on both sides. The one good thing that I would tell you is that I think the city of High Springs is in a position to have planning expertise in this sort of thing, and that's really a huge need for us. So I think we need the time.
Right?
Yes, I am on the call. If this is now the time, if y'all can hear me.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, all right, great. Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. I do appreciate you modifying the agenda. I do have another public hearing I have to attend following this, so that is greatly appreciated. We did send our comments back to the city manager earlier this week on the draft development agreement. I do believe that we are now getting close to finalizing this document, but we would ask for you to continue to a date certain, probably the second meeting in June, to give us time to finalize and then still allow for all the necessary advertisements and notifications for the hearing. But we want to, continue working with staff and come back to you with a document that we all agree on, and then, looking for your action. So yes, we are trying to meet the needs of what we have previously discussed, the document that once, kind of started out including a buffer along the western side and acknowledgement of the city's sanitary sewer condition has now contains a lot more. The document has grown, so it has taken more time than first thought to review the document. So we do appreciate your patience as we work with city staff, like I said, to get to something we can all agree on. So with that, I again would ask that you continue to the second meeting in June. And hopefully at that time, we'll be ready to bring something back that we all agree on. And I'll happily answer any questions that you might have.
Commissioners?
Well, the only question I would have is, we said you suggested the first meeting in July. He's saying second in June.
And
If he wants to try for second in June,
So
he
we'll go
can.
for the first one in July.
Okay. I
that's
think
fine.
the first one in July is more realistic.
I think
Okay,
so too.
that's absolutely
Second of
fine.
July?
We're in total agreement with that.
The only thing I would say going forward on this in a little bit, we want to get it right. We want to make sure the current residents there are, their thoughts and so forth are included. And the other thing it is I would say, and this can't go on perpetuity because we've got a city commissioner here who's the finance director right now and doing everything else. And so out of respect for her time and the other staff members who are here, as much as we want to extend it and get it done right, we do need to go ahead and get this thing done. So one way or the other, so we can move forward, because this is occupying a great deal of time of our staff, and we have many other projects we need to do. So hopefully by July 1st, this thing is ready to rock and roll and we can do something. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I just was looking at the calendar, and July 8th is our Florida Municipal Attorneys Conference in South Florida. I won't be here, and so we're, July
I thought
8th.
did we say second meeting?
No, it said first.
The second meeting
In July?
in July would be where we need to go with this.
Okay.
I thought that's what I heard.
Let's do that. He said the second in June is what he has said, and so I think that's.
Oh,
what it is.
okay, then second in July?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
And, Mayor,
Yes.
I did glance through this today, and I know that there were a lot of concerns when this first came to us, and we passed it on a first reading to not only the buffer, but in general, the lot sizes.
Right.
And, I'm looking at a list of all the current lots in Bailey Estates, and I don't think there's a lot in there that's
Right here.
under 7,000. I don't think there's a lot that's under 8,500 square feet in there right now. So when we talk about, consistent and everything, this is the potential, if everything refers back to the LDC requirements, of being something that is a much more dense development. So I think it's really in the best interest for the city to understand what the developer's intentions are going to be. And I noticed, like, one of the things was they crossed out that the sidewalks would be 5 foot wide. Well, the LDRs say you have to have sidewalks, but the current sidewalks, if you walk in Bailey Estates, if someone's walking their dog, the other person coming the other direction has to get off the sidewalk. Or if two people want to go and walk with a stroller, they can't walk side by side. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say how wide the sidewalks are really going to be. So when those things start getting taken out, and the tone, sometimes in some of the changes wasn't so good. And under the traffic impact study, I think it would be pretty reasonable that the city's engineers would determine the study area. But what we got back was an agreement said that the city's engineers will agree to the study area.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy with the tone. So I really hope that staff and the developers can really outline what is the picture for what is going to be developed on that 90 acres, and that we can help add to the housing stock in a way that benefits and complements the community. Because I think the citizens have been pretty clear, they moved here for a reason, and they do not want us to look like we've been overrun like other areas in South Florida. So that's my 2 cents going forward.
Okay. Anything from that, Vice Mayor? Are there any comments from the audience?
We're just talking about a procedural matter right now for the continuance.
Okay, I'm Pam Landis. I live in Bailey Estates. I have been kind of handed the task of being here for the Bailey Estates residents. Right now, we have 77 petitions that are signed that our neighborhood does not want to see a bunch of houses being shoved into very small lots, like is being brought up with this developer. We deal with this developer day in and day out, and he has left a lot of us high and dry. And we are very, very concerned that this is gonna happen again. So we are asking that the commission, please, when you're making this decision, please remember that the neighborhood in Bailey Estates, we are being drugged through the mud with this developer, and we really don't wanna see another neighborhood go through this. But we do have, like I said, we have 77 petitions stating that they do not wanna see this neighborhood be built and built in such a way that there are hundreds of homes, our infrastructure can't handle it, our streets can't handle it, our schools can't handle it. We'd really like to see that addressed before a lot of homes get built. So we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. No one else? Anybody over there, Kevin?
Madam Mayor, if there's anyone on Zoom that would like to speak, please utilize the raise your hand function in Zoom and we'll bring you in. See no hands at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so with that, we entertaining a motion to.
Do we need a motion or just a consensus, Scott?
Motion to continue to July 22nd, our meeting, our normal meeting on July 22nd.
I move that we move ordinance 2020-11 to the second meeting in July 22nd.
Second.
All right, it has been properly moved and second that ordinance 2020-11 be moved for our commission meeting scheduled for, will be scheduled for July the 22nd, 21. Ms. Palmer, you have to do roll call? All right, all those in favor respond with aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries 4-0.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Did somebody call?
That was, yes.
Oh, yes.
You just said thank you.
Oh, you are welcome. All right, let's proceed to item number 3, presentation from GAI, CRA plan update. CRA coordinator, Davidson.
Good evening, how are y'all doing?
All
Great.
right, how are you?
Good, I'm so glad y'all came to see me tonight.
All right.
The highlight of my day.
Yeah, I'll just hold it. Just here real quick to provide y'all with an update. We are unable to beam him here tonight, so he's just gonna join us Zoom. Mr. Tom Kohler with GAI, who y'all all met. We spoke to some of y'all, and I think his counterpart spoke to the rest of you. And he's just gonna fill you in on what's been going on with the GAI strategic plan for the CRA. We're right at about halfway into the time period we have. I don't know, Kevin, is he up and ready to go?
Mr. Kohler is on. We can share his presentation from here. We can share his screen.
Tom, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So am I going to be moving this, Kevin, or are you?
I'll share the screen on this end and just say slide and I can advance. That'll be easiest.
Okay. Madam Mayor, City Commissioners, thanks for having me. Was asked to bring you up to date the status of our strategic planning effort. And we'll go to the next slide. I just want to say that to date, we've been reviewing all the existing documents, and these just are some of those that we've reviewed. The existing CRA, original CRA plan, your most recent annual report, the general ledgers, previous minutes, financial statements, your city strategic plan workshop draft, and regulations and ordinances, land use zoning, that legislation that impacts the downtown. Let's go to the next slide. All of you have been involved in one way or another with our public engagement process. We have met with you, each one of you as city commissioners, and we met with the senior staff in an all-day session. We've also interviewed one-on-one or two-on-one, depending on how many people were on the other end, property owners and business proprietors in the downtown area. And the list was provided to us by your staff. We created and launched High Springs Tomorrow website, and I hope you had a chance to look at that. And we've put everything that we've been doing to date on that, and also it allows for people to respond remotely to any of the items that we've been discussing. And I believe every one of you was at the community workshop on May the 6th at the museum. Let me go through that just quickly. Next slide. As you recall, we had 3 or 4, I think we had 4 different boards with different images of likes and dislikes, from infrastructure, streetscape, to trail system, to communication system, so forth and so on. So this is one of the boards, and then we had everybody vote on what they liked and disliked. So we got a pretty good indication of the things that appeal to those that were in the room. And this, again, each one of these boards were put on the website, so individuals that were not able to attend could also provide their perspective, their input on this as well. This next slide, this is the next one is one of basically infrastructure and communications, ecotourism. And again, you see strong desire on the communication side. Talked at some length about broadband and how
21.
Getting a more robust broadband would really be helping the overall economy as we move into the future with the technology that businesses need. Next slide. And of course, we talked a great deal about the rails to trail system and connectivity, parking, street lighting, safety, and the like. Again, all of you were in that meeting, and you had your chance to voice your opinion or indicate your likes and dislikes. And we talked one-on-one with a number of the people that were in that room. Next slide. So once we started going through, we've had over 50 different items that were sent to us or through our communications with our interviews and so forth, different subject matters that came up. And through that, what we've gleaned is these 7 themes that come up. I don't think a lot of them are surprising, but obviously economic development is one of them. The sense of place and the appearance of downtown was very important. Transportation, access and mobility, and obviously high on everybody's list was really the truck traffic and its impact on Main Street. Civic and open spaces, just a better feel of how all of this could come together, particularly all the property that the city, publicly owned, the city property behind City Hall, how that could be better utilized. Environmental sustainability. What's come out of all of this in our research, and you'll get more of this as we come forward with our draft, was you're basically in the epicenter of one of the most unique environmental places, I'll be bold enough, in the world, because of the numerous natural springs that you have. And so High Springs, we feel, is going to be instrumental in being a focal point on being good stewards of the environment in and around the city, and also the Santa Fe River and those springs, and the people that we bring from all over the world to High Springs, into these remarkable natural gifts. And then we also talked about standards and regulations, the different kinds of issues that have to do with parking, alcohol consumption, just all over just how we going to deal with mixed use developments, that type of thing, reviewing the codes to allow a more flexible investment environment from the private sector. And then the last one I call keepers of the vision. Too often plans are made and the plans become the end product, when really the plan is just the beginning. And the keepers of the vision are going to be all of you in this room and the community at large, and what kind of partnerships we can bring together to make sure that the development program, the recommendations that come forward are lobbied and championed and there's accountability to bring them to fruition. Next slide. And so within those themes, there are several things that actually came up very high on everybody's list. Obviously it's not unanimous, but a significant majority of all those that have provided the input. Number one is bringing that rail to trail development to reality through downtown. That was the number one. I apologize. I see we got 2 W's in downtown. We need to determine the best alternative to reroute truck traffic off Main Street. And that's going to be, I'm sure this is something the community has addressed before, but I think working with FDOT, we've come up with maybe some concepts or ideas that maybe could get some traction that would help, particularly the impact of those trucks on the intersection on Main Street. We need to invest in infrastructure that improves walkability, parking, lighting, stormwater, and just the overall appearance, the public realm, those places where we need to do a better job of maintenance of the flora that's planted, and whatever else we come up with when we do more improvements and we have better landscaping and the like, and how we're going to maintain that. And then support part of the CRA works best when they have private investment, and there's a couple of significant opportunities. One with the extreme exposure lodging option on the block on Railroad Avenue, and also the peanut mill lends itself to some future mixed use development. And those are two very catalytic opportunities that would also reinforce the trail system coming through. They will both face that trail on Railroad Avenue. So those are two opportunities that could bring significant tax development, tax revenues to the community, as well as economic viability to all the existing businesses in the downtown area. So you have unique possibilities there. Develop a master plan for the City Hall campus. Want to leverage that property that you already own and better utilize this through, I believe you're on your strategic planning, you've talked about doing a analysis of your facilities needs, new police station and the like and so forth. We feel that the master planning of the City Hall campus will allow you, I call it a campus, but it's City Hall property, is to allow for better utilization, being a great, continue to enhance the venue for such special events as Pioneer Days and the like. And we think that would be a great public investment that would pay many dividends on the private side as well. And then if I didn't hear this once, I heard it 10 times. There needs to be a real public-private partnership to market the community, to put its best face forward. There's just not a really common message that's going out there, but there seems to be a real desire on both the public and the private side, civic individuals we talk to, of coming together and putting a message out there that will resonate in marketing High Springs as a quality place to live and do business. So that's where we are right now. The next slide. So what we're going to do right now, we're completing our eco and recreational tourism market scan. It's looks pretty positive. We're going to continue to develop maps and graphics to give you a better, visual understanding of how these things can come together. Identifying collaborative partners, both public and private. Needless to say, when I say we as a High Springs community don't have the resources to do everything that's in place by itself. It's going to take a great deal of effort from partners, both public and private, state, local, county, and the like, to bring these things to fruition. We want to validate and confirm the approach and recommendations with the CRA. We'll come back to you as we refine these recommendations, and we'll draft that document to be adopted sometime by midsummer, and then prepare a presentation for the Alachua County Commission later on in the summer. So that's where we are, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I will just tell you, our staff is really excited about what we're finding, and we think you're in an inflection point as a community. Because of the springs and because of some of the investment that's already in your community that's willing to expand. And again, that gets back to the partnership efforts. And I personally, I've been in this business for 50 years, and I'm excited as well of what the opportunities avail themselves to your community. So again, with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, commissioners?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I can't remember. Can you go back one slide, please, Kevin? The established. Can you go over that again, please? The
bottom one?
Yes,
Establish
established.
public-private partnership to market the community. Yeah. Just we can really determine. We had, I would say, 5 or 6 different individuals say that, we might have the individuals are marketing their businesses, but there's no sort of common message going out there about why do you come to High Springs for a business standpoint? And so, not knowing the particulars, we just said, and this isn't unusual. Sometimes this, a number of communities have the same thing. You may have the chamber going in one direction, the Economic Development Council going in another direction, a downtown Main Street going a third direction, and the city itself going in a different direction. So one is just to get the stakeholders around the table. And there seems to be a real feeling that if we could get them around the table and everybody communicate face to face, the community could come up with a really good and effective marketing campaign.
Thank you. Also, the collaborative partners, private and public, you stated state, county, what private partners? I don't understand how that works.
We talked to several of them that were already investing in your downtown, already there. And they're looking for some city leadership to reinforce, their investments.
Can you answer that, David?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's referring, there are some current property owners downtown who own buildings and other pieces downtown that are putting in a lot of their own money or about to put in their own money, and they're looking for some city help with parking and other things to help enhance what they're trying to do.
Okay, all right. I understand. Thank you.
And just generally, there's really a very positive attitude out there and about in continuing to invest in downtown High Springs.
Right.
But
Good to hear.
just real quick, just to follow up, and this one here, I mean, if you put into a sports vernacular type of thing, we want everybody on the same game plan. And so we don't want 4 or 5 different strategies going, which may conflict with each other, but let's get together and all make sure we're in the same end zone type of deal. And so that's what I'm assuming you're saying, if that's the case.
We're running the ball.
What's that?
31, we're running the ball.
Well, yeah, like the old days, and you're gonna have to stop us.
Dear
Okay.
Lord.
We're not throwing the ball all over. I pardon folks, but you're gonna have to just, that's.
Okay, Commissioner?
Yeah, that was very well done, thank you.
Audience?
Yeah.
So David, what's next?
The next thing will happen is what Mr. Kohler said, they will be finishing up the project. They will be presenting it to the city beginning of August into July, that time frame, and then we will be presenting it to the county in September.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Ashley and David, didn't the county want us to come back before September when they renewed the CRA at that meeting we were at? And has that been adjusted?
That's being adjusted now. The county is aware that we're asking for more time, and that's gonna help GAI get a better product.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, we have no audience comments.
Madam Mayor, if there's anyone on Zoom that would like to speak to this matter, raise your hand. Seeing no hands at this time?
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you. We
All right.
appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you. We'll probably be bringing things back to you the end of June for some review.
Thank you. Citizens requesting comments at this point for issues that are not on the agenda. And please state your name for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please.
My name is Julie, and this is my friend Cindy, and we're here tonight for the military support group of Alachua County. Last commission meeting, you guys did a proclamation for the month of May to support the military. I don't know if a lot of you know about our organization, but we do boxes for the soldiers. My son is stationed at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas, and he's in the 204th Intelligence Battalion. Last year, he did deployment to South America. And through basic training, the support group stood by me mentally and physically and helped me through it. And we do that for a lot of Army moms and soldiers. And every month, I'll let her explain a little bit more to it. We do boxes, and we send them to the soldiers that are deployed. I'll let her talk.
Okay, my name is Cindy Lewis, and I have pretty much lived and grew up here in High Springs and currently work here in High Springs. But I am a member of the military support group of Alachua County. We meet the first Thursday of every month in Alachua, and we pack boxes and send to the troops that are over in the war zones. We are a nonprofit organization, so we do fundraisers throughout the year to raise money to buy the contents of the boxes, which consist of personal care items, hard candy, magazines, books, calling cards, so they can call back home. We do non-perishable food items. And sometimes they send requests to us for, we have sent volleyballs over there for them to do things to help them in what they're trying to achieve in those areas, with the kids or with the communities over there.
Your son was
Okay,
deployed,
I
your
have-
son just got back.
My son just got back from a deployment to Jordan. He was getting home since last August. He got back the first of this month. And my other son, did a deployment last year to around Afghanistan. He's currently stationed at Fort Bragg. My son that's here, he, was active military and he is now in the reserves and works at the Alachua County Jail.
I think after talking to Miss Cindy, we just wanted to come and just thank you guys for doing that, and hopefully maybe in the years to come, we can do some things in the month of May with High Springs to fundraisers and stuff to support the military support in Alachua County.
That and sort of back some of the veterans we have here in the community.
We do the bucket season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good
Madam Vice
evening.
Mayor, City Commission, Damon Messina with the Parks and Recreation Department. Just quickly, we're going to provide a job fair. We've teamed up with several residents, local residents, and some of the businesses, and we're going to provide a job fair on June 22nd. It's going to be at the Civic Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll start putting out all that information within the coming weeks. And also, this is really good. And over the past several years with the Parks and Recreation Department, programming was pretty much more, I would say, probably keen on pretty much youth athletics over the past several years. We're trying to change that a little bit. Of course, we're still going to maintain that, but we're going to try to get more into cultural arts, music and art programs, etc. So we are teaming up with Good News Art Studios, which is a local art studio here in High Springs, and they're going to provide a camp, a 6-week camp for students from the age of 4 all the way to 12. And they are working in conjunction with the Alachua County Children's Trust. There's going to be a good amount of scholarships provided for the students who attend this camp. And they're going to be pretty much what practicing professional artists. And they're going to be doing some acrylic painting as well as sculpturing, some theater, as well as some cartoon and photographic processes. So this is it's going to be pretty nice. It's going to be held over at the old school from, I believe, June 28th to August 2nd. It's a 6-week program from 9:30, I believe, to 3:30. And we're going to put all that information out, so it's pretty much finalized. And we're happy to move in this direction and partnering up with a local organization or local business per se. So I think it's going to be wonderful, and any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Kevin?
There are no hands on Zoom.
All right, thank you. All right, with that, we will move to new business. Discuss, consider, and act on Crockett Spring preliminary plat from our city manager and our planning tech.
I'm gonna let Christy Adkins, our planning tech, speak to this one.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Kevin's gonna be pulling up a map so you guys can see where it's at. This is the preliminary plat for Crockett Spring, located off of 210 Avenue. It's a county maintained road. It is a 14-lot rural subdivision. It is 1 dwelling unit per 5 gross acres, and it will be serviced by well and septic. And the applicant is here tonight, so if you have any questions, it will be directed towards them.
Yeah, it meets all city regulations. And a copy of the plat is also in the packet and for your review.
It's in this.
This item.
It's really hard.
I got you.
Yeah.
I-
Can you go to the next slide, Kevin? The next, yeah,
Yeah,
and kind of see if you can make it bigger.
yeah, it's tough, because in the packet, it
Yeah, it's
was a lot of
really
work to
small.
blow up to actually look at. One of the
That's a
things
little better.
that I really liked about it, just because it's different, and I know they were going around a geological feature, but the little jog in the road, I think really creates some uniqueness to putting 14 homes on it, you know, so kind of like that.
It slows traffic down too.
Yeah, it's a straightaway, so
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah. So we just need to.
Yeah, it meets all
approve?
city regulations. There's, staff went back and forth. They fixed everything staff asked for. The engineers reviewed it. It's, the plan board commission recommended approval. They had many citizen comments. Obviously, they must have been satisfied because I don't see those citizens here
They're not
tonight.
here.
So,
And that road is what, 22 foot wide?
I think it was 60. What
Well,
is
it's a
it? What does
60
it,
60
the
foot
right of
right
way?
of way.
Yeah, right of way.
And this is off of 210. Yes,
Yeah.
10 Avenue. And 5 acre lots.
22 would work. That would be the smallest. I can't remember because at the time I was reviewing it, I checked and it was sufficient, but I can't see it from here. What is
I
it?
think we've got it.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. We're proposing a variable width roadway. Some areas near the entrance or near the connection to 210 will be 22 feet wide, but we would prefer to neck it down to 16 with wider grass shoulders. That's what we're probably going to present during our final development plan that will be coming here soon. And it's simply because it's a low volume roadway, 14 lots, it's not going to see a lot of traffic. 16 feet is plenty of room for most bidirectional traffic, and having a 5 foot wide grass shoulder on both sides allows for pulling off. So that will be presented in the upcoming engineering plans. But it is a private right of way, 60 foot wide, swales on each side, so following the land profile as well.
And what side did you say these lots were?
The smallest is 4.2 acres, the largest is like 4.8 or 4.9.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, my name is David Saul, I'm
Average.
the URMP, I didn't introduce myself.
That's all right.
I apologize.
Yeah, the construction plans will come with final plat.
Do we need to make a motion on this?
Yeah.
Okay. I move that we
Do
approve.
we have
the-
any questions first?
Yeah, I apologize, I'm not aware of this.
No,
That's
you're
all right,
fine.
you're fine.
We can always make a motion and have discussion.
Okay, I see nobody. Have you anybody?
There's no hands on Zoom, Madam Mayor. We will remind folks if they do want to speak, to use the raise your hand function in Zoom. Yeah, there's still no.
Thank you. Okay.
I move that we approve the preliminary plat for Crockett Springs.
I'll second that.
Okay, it has been properly moved and second that the project under Crockett Spring be approved. All those in favor, respond with aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries 4-0. All right, our next item, discuss, consider, and act on a fee waiver request for a lot split on 243rd Street. City Manager and Planning Tech.
Okay, so Madam Mayor and Commission, a request has been made by Nancy Lavin, who is here, on behalf of her client, Ms. Saraj Earl, who resides at 18734 Northwest 243rd Street. The request is for a waiver for the application fee for a lot split, which is $500 based on a financial hardship. In our ordinance, we have waivers for affordable housing, but we do not have a section where staff can administratively grant waivers based on hardship. And so if a waiver was given, it would have to be approved by the commission. Based on the information given, the applicant is below poverty level, and the lot split is needed to sell the other lot to relieve financial burdens. And if you'd like to talk, you can as well.
Hello, Madam Mayor.
Hello.
Commissioners, it's great to be in here and seeing you all in person again. And I want to take a minute and Mr. Ambrose, congratulations for your award.
Thank you.
And Chief Shepherd, I'm so excited for you to have that degree. I'm here on behalf of my client. I'm with Granta Realty, and I'm asking for a fee waiver so she can get in a better situation financially. This is an old established neighborhood. The lots are large enough to do the split and meet the minimum lot requirement, and many of the lots over there have done that. I'm especially here because when we did this zoning fee schedule, maybe 18 months ago, we increased our fees because our developers were not paying the fees. We were absorbing all of those costs, but one of the things that came up, and I remember a discussion about this particular thing, if there was someone who needed to do this, that we needed to have some way to do an exemption based on poverty guidelines, as we did in other areas in our fee schedules. And I remember that conversation distinctly because I helped a family member do this many years ago, and it allowed him to stay in his home. So somehow that didn't get put in our zoning fee schedule, and I'm not sure how or why that happened, but in addition to asking for this particular waiver, I'm asking you to maybe go back and revisit that and come up with some sort of language that could be administratively done in the future. I don't think it's something that would happen a lot, but I know for my family member, all those years ago, it made a huge difference. And I know for this client that I'm working with them as well. So, questions or your consideration in the matter is greatly appreciated. It's really nice to see you all again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have any comments, commissioners?
Madam Mayor, I think we are in a position where we don't have a legal mechanism to accommodate the request. I would note that you're selling at a good time, so you're doing the right thing at the right time. It sounds like on behalf, and Nancy, good to see you again as well. Perhaps there's some other ideas I might have if you have a moment after the meeting. I'll be happy to share with you on that.
Since we don't have anything in place for this, I don't see how we can approve it. It may be something we want to discuss for the future, but it's the same adage that if you approve it for one, then you've got to approve it for everyone. You can't just pick and choose. So I would not be in favor for it, and I'm glad to hear that you may have some alternatives for her.
Okay. Commissioners on this side?
Go ahead, and I'll go.
In most of our ordinances, in many other ways, we've always tried as a city to have something in some mechanism for dealing with low income and below poverty kind of situations. So I do think we need to look at how we can incorporate that. And I am cautious about the precedent that sets to just waive it, but haven't we as a city at times waived fees like this for other things, like when the Community Development Corporation 10 years ago put up the signs, the gateway signs. The city waived the fees for those signs. And I'm just wondering, is it precedent setting, Attorney Walker, if we waive it for one based on whatever we say, or is it not? Because my gut inclination is what Commissioner Jones says, is to not set the precedent.
Right, right. That would be what I would be afraid of as well. If you have, usually when there is a fee waiver, it is based upon something like a specific metric, low-income poverty. For example, in our fire assessment fee, there is a specific waiver program based upon poverty level of folks that may be impacted by our fire assessment. So we can apply it in a very specific way as to whether we grant the fee waiver or not. If there is no specifics, that's where you get into a problem, and you have a developer that comes in and says, hey, I hear the city allows fee waivers. Well, I would like one as well. And this is where the problem is. We don't have any specific guidelines to tell us how we can do it or not do it. That's the problem.
Okay, thank you. And on a more general note, I saw this happen in suburban communities in Chicago, where there were large lots and homes that filled them and what have you. And as land prices went up, it became really common to start splitting those lots, or for people to come in and buy the home that was there, which was beautiful and what a lot of people would consider historical looking, and they'd literally tear it down and build something that didn't fit the character of the community.
Yep.
So I think as we're looking at redoing our land development codes, that we need to make sure we address that, so that as people come in and divide their lots, because I think this lot's 15,000 square feet, which is a relatively big lot in the core downtown area. Another home that fits in there would be nice, but one where there are no design regulations, which Tallahassee has put in controls to make that very difficult at this point, that we just need to be as careful as possible that we are protecting the citizens that are lucky enough to be in that area and still allowing them to do things with their property.
Well, I mean, I'm proud you said the process. I mean, that was mine. I would not want something to be at the whim of the commission, to where all of a sudden there's an election in November and it changes. There needs to be a process and something in place to do it. This is probably going to sound whatever, but I'm curious on this one here. This is different to me. This is different than the fire assessment. To me, they're two completely different things. We're selling property. I'm assuming there will be a profit made. And we're asking for a waiver on something that we're going to make money off of. So I know that sounds cold-hearted, and I'm not saying it that way. If the issue is we can't make the payment now, or can we write something up and upon the sale, then the fee were to be? I mean, I'm wrapping around here. I understand at the fire assessment, you don't have any additional income. This one here, there's going to be additional. We're selling something, we're going to make money.
I have no problem with that, Madam Mayor. That's, if the fee is ultimately paid, then we can do that. I don't see a problem.
To me, that's an option, to where not now, but backload the fee once the property's sold. In the interim, until we do something, if we choose that we want to do something, to where this process isn't at a standstill on the deal. I just think that would be an option. And I would, maybe the city
and we do payment plans across all departments. It's just been something we do. Obviously, water is one of the most frequent, but we have done payment plans for other things to help people out. We've not had issues. Sometimes on water we do, but in most things, we don't have a lot of issues of people not adhering to the payment plans. So that's always, I think, an option with anything as well.
I mean, I think you're going to trust people. I mean, I think most of us up here, I mean, that's the deal when you do it. My father made handshake decisions in a private business. He didn't write contracts. So, I mean, I grew up watching it, so I trust people. I just think, I don't know how long, if we're going to get, how long that takes to get there. And obviously, she would need something more expeditious. I'm just saying, to me, I would pursue maybe the city manager and see if there's something that can be done where we can write something where upon the sale, then the fee is done. I
agree with you. Even a letter, just a letter.
Just signed. I mean,
That's all we need.
On the sign, to me, that's why it's different than like the fire. The fire is a different thing. There's no additional income coming in. And this is where there will be. So I would prefer that.
If the commission did something like that, would it have to come back to them again or okay.
I sort of like that idea too. I hadn't thought of looking at it that way, but I think that would be it would give everybody what they need. We're helping her out to get where she want to be. And I think that's a good idea, but I think it needs to be documented. I like that. That's a good idea. I like that. All right.
So can we just, ask you to get with her and just see if she'll do, if that's the case, we can just have the city manager just do something like that and see.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So is that all we need on this?
That's all you need.
All right, very good. All right. Miss Ashley. I'm sorry, city attorney.
Madam Mayor, congratulations, Chief Shepherd. Saw the Facebook posts and I was proud for you and proud of you as well. So congratulations on your advanced degree. That's terrific. Before the meeting, Rich Maltby shared with me that he thinks that the Home Rule Hero Award for Commissioner Ambrose was related to your college experience, and that sets you up so that you could achieve such a great thing in this world. So go Kate College.
Yeah, go Hornets.
Yeah.
The little known fact is they both went to Kalamazoo College in Michigan. So it's a little known.
And they both succeeded beyond that.
Beyond expectation.
Rich, you did good by not taking a deep breath. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
He's learning. He is learning.
I didn't kick you under the table. So.
No, you didn't.
Rich does have an announcement to make, and unfortunately, our law firm's losing him. So I'll turn it over to Rich.
Uh-oh.
No.
And I know there's a couple people here in the room who already know this news, but I'm sad to share with Madam Mayor and the Commission and all of our city staff that I have accepted a position with a law firm that is based out of the Midwest. I'm not leaving Florida. It's a firm that has recruited me because of some matters that I've handled for them over the years here in Florida. They have decided that they want to have more of a presence here in the state of Florida, and so they thought that I might be the guy to make that happen for them. So it was a couple weeks ago, a very difficult moment to grab Scott and my other partner, Allison Folds, who's not here tonight. I think he was here at the last meeting. And y'all got to meet him, but it was a difficult discussion to have to sit down and explain this to them. So I want to say thank you to everybody here. And I know we're missing certain people. I know Bruce, for instance, isn't here tonight, but it's been an absolute pleasure working with everybody. This town there's a lot of people here that make things work here, and a lot of them are sitting in this room. And I think about some of the very contested, lengthy meetings and issues that we've been through, and some of them were difficult, and then we've also had many good times. And getting to know everybody was probably my favorite thing, is working with the people here. I will say it's difficult to make this announcement, but it is just a decision that I've decided I've got to make, and so that's what I've done, and hopefully, if Scott will allow me, I'll tag along with him every once in a while, and it depends on what the agenda looks like. But with that, no, I want to just say thank you to everybody.
Well, Sandberg and Phoenix recognized what I recognize, in that the guy's got a lot of talent, and they made him a #1 draft pick, and they're a big law firm, 150 lawyers, and so we're sad to see him go, but happy for his family and for him. He's got a tremendous opportunity, and so we'll, as I always say, we're friends before you started working with us, and we're friends after you stopped working with us. But he'll still be around, and we may lean on him for some resources down the road as far as some things that he has an expertise in as well. That's all I had, Madam Mayor.
All right.
I can't really follow that. I don't know what to do. I'll miss you. I didn't get to know you as well as others. I haven't been here so long, but I was sad to hear the news. I was, really, really like the team. So, and congratulations, making us look good. And Chief Shepherd, we had a wonderful celebration on Monday, and more to come, because I know he worked so long to achieve the goal, and we're really proud of him, and happy that I said, "You're not going to leave, are you?" I said, "What do I need to do to keep you?" So, yeah, we had a good cleanup day the other weekend, and I collected a lot of trash, and it was fun. My OCD kicked in. I wanted to clean the whole city. So that was good. And Memorial Day is tomorrow. There's not much going on. It's the calm before the storm. So get ready for the upcoming meetings.
All right. Do we have any announcements other than what we've heard already? No? Commissioner Ambrose.
I have nothing.
Commissioner Jameson.
What was the dates, Damon?
June 22nd.
No.
The job fair?
No, the football. What was the dates?
Oh, man.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was 2 weekends ago.
And I'm not trying to make light of this, and I failed to mention it at the meeting prior to that, but we brought back the flag football tournament that's been here. It came back. There was 28 teams.
Wow.
That were here. Damon and his crew, I went out there a little bit and saw them, and they were out the grass, and I don't know if David, to a degree, I don't know if David is involved, he normally is, but got many compliments as far as the turf within a year until now. But I just wanted to make sure we understood it. 28 teams, they were here, they were from all over, very few local, so they were all in here spending money. But I just wanted to compliment, make sure I failed to mention it prior to. But it was an excellent display, and it did a lot for the city, because we had people who were sitting there, and just like the GAI guy was saying, it was a testament to the city and to our employees, because it was spotless. I mean, I was there one day, a lot of the day, and they were there cleaning up. So, I mean, they did an excellent job. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes. Something's been on my mind ever since the Bailey conversation. They mentioned that they have like 77 petitions. I don't know if that's 77 signatures or 77 separate petitions. But she mentioned current problems that they are really having with this developer. I don't know that there's anything that we can do about that as something that's already done, but I guess I would like to see something that, there are no guarantees in life, but, hey, these people have real problems, significant problems. Can't you sit down and discuss them?
Yeah, we can try to facilitate a meeting with, so there's not an official there's an HOA, not an HOA, because from what I understand, the HOA is supposed to be handed over by now, and it hasn't been handed over by the
Oh.
developer. So that's one of the issues. And so because of that, a lot of the issues in the subdivision are not being fixed by the developer, and the HOA doesn't have the money to do it because it hasn't been, the HOA and the funds haven't been handed over. So there's, so there's a lot of things in the subdivision that need to be fixed and cleaned up that aren't being taken care of. So staff can try to facilitate, if the developer is willing, to meet with the people in the subdivision, or to have a public meeting or community meeting, maybe use the school or the civic center to discuss all of these. I think it would be good to have before the zoning, if possible, and for a response to be had from the developer.
That concerned me, and I agreed with Ross that the 40-foot lots really do concern us, and the Bailey residents don't want to see that either. The military support group, I was part of an organization when I worked a long time ago. That was part of our good deed as such, is working with them, and they are a magnificent group. It is so much fun to fill those boxes and then mail them. I mean, you get such a good feeling when you send those off to these men and women overseas that, some of them are in really bad conditions, that they don't, just personal items. Socks was something that came to my mind when you said that. It is just, it's a wonderful organization. I really do appreciate their work, and be glad to support in any way I can.
Anyone wants to update that donation, if anyone would like to contribute towards that, more than welcome.
Okay.
Or come and attend one of the meetings to see what it's all about.
Great. They are a great organization.
Usually they give all the stuff in the boxes, and the donation is the postage.
Yes.
So you take these, take it to the post office and you pay them, and that's for the donation.
Right, yeah.
And it's really cool because then you put other stuff you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was great fun for us when we were part of it, and I'm so glad to see that they're still ongoing. And congratulations to Ross. We're going to see him blush again. He's been blushing all meeting. And to Chief Shepherd, of course, such a great achievement. And that's all I have.
All right. Well, I say congratulations to our commissioner down there. And we thank you, as I said before, for speaking up on behalf of our city, because we really need that. And congratulations over here, Chief. All right. Just don't, like city manager say, don't think you're gonna leave us now. All right, if there are no other comments, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right, so moved, meeting adjourned.